What's up, Jason? How's it going?
Going good.
So, what's kind of this stage right now for you guys? You've gone, school started yesterday. You had preseason camp. What was today all about practice-wise? Are you still kind of that camp mode, or kind of how do you kind of close that book? And are you getting ready for the first game?
We really started working with the scout team. You know, we treat it as a game week, so we got the urgency, everything, communication, all that got to be there.
You mentioned that getting ready for game week. What did you guys? What were you able to get out of the fall camp? What stood out to you about how the defense played, and what really kind of did you take from what you guys were able to do over the last 3 or 4 weeks?
I really liked our effort, our executing our assignments and stuff like that. We just been playing great, so we got to keep it up and take it on throughout the season.
Take us back to the scrimmage on Saturday. How did it look from your perspective?
I feel like we did a pretty good job. We didn't really have no bus coverages, not really, or it really wasn't scoring like that, so we did a good job.
What didn't work very well?
It was one play they scored. That was really the only thing I can remember.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about the scrimmage? We heard maybe it was going to be a younger player scrimmage, like maybe the first team. Did you guys not play as much, or?
We started with some situational football, like 2 minutes. So we did the first string, second string. Then we did that. Then we did some overtime stuff. Then the young guys played at the end.
Okay.
Who stood out in that younger guys scrimmage to you?
TJ Bullard and Andrew Harris. They've been playing really well.
What are some of the plays they made that you really stood out to you specifically?
Andrew, he's like really strong, so he just like grabbed the quarterback and just slung him. So he like that was a good play.
Now that camp is mostly wrapped up, what player impressed you most? Maybe on defense, I don't know if there's any offensive guys you went up against, but if you had to name a player or two that you think had a really good camp and you're excited to see play this year, who would you name?
Johnny Richardson. He just make plays out of nothing. He's really exciting.
Jason, with school starting back up this week, how much of what's this challenge like to balance schoolwork and football and all that? How much of a challenge is it? You've been through it before, so you understand it. But when you look at some of the younger guys, what do you kind of tell them to kind of help them create that balance that works out for them?
Just don't feel overwhelmed and just try to do the best you can. You know, I'm used to it now, so I already know how it goes.
Earlier, you talked about needing to become a more vocal leader. How has that process been for you during camp?
I feel like I've been doing a good job. I've been getting the defense started. Like if we sluggish, I'll try to say something to get us going.
Have your coaches noticed?
Oh yeah, they tell me every day. Yeah.
What are you seeing at the linebacker position for you guys overall? Obviously, your experience returner, there's some transfers I know are in the mix. Who's kind of standing out there?
Everybody's just playing well. Me, Walt, Ryan, IP, Andrew, TJ, everybody playing well, flying to the ball. Cam Moore too, he's really smart, so yeah.
Gus has talked about building that chemistry, you know, setting the standard this fall camp. How important has that been? And when you look at the fact you had like basically, 38 new guys coming on the roster, how important was that chemistry? And what are some examples of how you guys were able to build the chemistry, keep close together?
Or during fall camp, we just been like doing some bonding stuff. Everybody tell their story, and we just like getting closer together, so we could just play harder for each other.
What more do you feel like you need to work on over the next week before this home opener?
Still need to clean up some stuff in pass coverage. It's urgency in my drops and stuff like that. Breaking on the ball.
You have a very veteran linebacker room. I think most of you are in your 5th or 6th year. What's that like, and like the difference between last year and this year?
It's really good for the younger guys because a lot of us, we know football and know how everything goes. So we just, if they do something wrong, we'll coach them up and just help them get better.
Where do you think, I mean, we'll find out, I guess, in a few weeks when the games get here, but when you look at the UCF defense, the players you brought in, obviously new defensive coordinator, what aspect of the defense you think you guys want to improve the most?
Really our communication. Like we just talk all the time. You got to know what we're doing, and we just gonna fly to the ball and hit people and get the ball out.
Is that maybe better than it was last year, the communication? Or?
Oh yeah, it's a lot better. It's a lot better.
There's a lot of talk, at least offensively, about close games. Big 12 has a lot of close games being involved. That. How about defensively? Trying to keep stopping an opponent. And they're driving deep. How much of a focus has that been for the defense at this ball camp? And what do you think you guys have done a better job with that?
It starts with stopping the run. So once you stop the run, we're gonna make them pass the ball. Then we got a good D line, so they're gonna get to the quarterback and he's gonna create havoc.
I know a big emphasis has been, they've always said, is forcing turnovers, getting interceptions. I know, I think the team only had 6 last year. Are you seeing that in practice and scrimmages? Are you guys getting more interceptions?
Oh, yeah.
We heard did you get one the other day?
I got one the other day. I got like one today in the PBU. So we always trying to get the ball, and it's a lot of turnovers, so it's gonna be a lot this year during the season.
Do you, have you guys learned much about the opening opponent? I know it's a mystery. They got new coaching staff, a lot of new players. Like, do you know anything about Kent State? Have you gotten into that aspect of talking about the first opponent yet?
Yeah, we know they main runs, and we know they got a special teams coordinator from North Dakota State, so we just focus on that. We're gonna shut them down.
Do you think that's something you're going to be watching film of, maybe where the coaches came from or something? Is that probably what the coaches are going to do?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing so far. Yeah.
Guys, that's it.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jason.
Wow.
We got Allie Collins.